Having someone to communicate to who can understand what we're feeling is an important emotional need, even from our very earliest days. We have probably all seen that babies are very good communicators. Even without words, they're very good at making their needs known. And as parents and carers, we get very good at knowing what each little noise and cry means and what they want and what they're communicating to us. Now, the God who made them and who knows every detail about them can do that even better than us, which is a real comfort and an encouragement when we're struggling to figure out what's wrong or what they want at the moment. God promises that as we chat to him and as our children do too, that he both hears us and understands us. The wonderful thing about God is that he's always there and he never sleeps. So whatever the hour of the day or the night, our children can call out to him and know that he hears and he understands them. Because we can't be with them 24/7, can we guys? Whether or not we'd want to be. As they grow up, we can't do that. But by giving them the tools and teaching them how to connect and communicate with God, they never have to feel alone. They can know that he is right there with them and they can communicate him about anything that's on their mind. He is loving and powerful. So not only does he hear their prayers, but he really wants good things for them and he's able to answer them. He has the power to change things. He's also wise, so he knows what they need at each and every stage. He's not going to give them things that aren't good for them. He's steadfast and secure. He's not swayed by moods and trends. The Bible talks about him being like a strong tower that you can run into and know you're protected and safe. But he's not just there for when you want to feel safe and secure. It's brilliant to have someone to share your excitement with as well. And that can be about big things or little things. It doesn't matter if for a toddler that's having done a wee on the potty or making a funny raspberry sound. They can share that with God too. He's there, he's listening for whatever they want to chat to him about. So how can we encourage our children to do this? Let's start with the very littlest ones, with the babies, okay? So even before they've got any words, we can start giving words to all that they're feeling and experiencing. So if they're really enjoying this buzzy toy, we can say, hey, show God your buzzy toy. Show him the big smile that it puts on your face when it tickles you. Or if they're having a screaming fest because they're just exhausted, you could say, oh, I know, it's so horrible feeling so tired. Let's tell God all about it. And what you're doing there is just helping them to understand that God cares about the things that matter to them and that he's a part of their normal everyday life. So we can start including him and referencing him, and that just helps them to know that he's there. Then as they get a little bit older, as they have a few words, we can start helping them to use those words and their bodies to connect and communicate with God. So you might want to say you're watching the telly, they're watching Peppa Pig, and say, oh, let's just point out to God which is our favourite character, who we like best today. Or if you're in the park and they fall over and bump their knee, say, oh, that looks really sore. Let's show God where it hurts and ask him to come and make it better. Doesn't really matter what it is, and you don't need to have a set time to do it. It can just be woven in and out of the day. Then as they get a little bit older, maybe heading to kind of preschool age, you can help them feel confident to chat to God on their own. So explain to them that they don't need mummy or daddy or anyone else to help them, but God just loves to hear what they have to say, and they can chat to him about anything, anytime, anywhere. Most children can't do this in their head, so you might want to suggest that they whisper into their hands or into a cushion or a pillow, something like that, just to remove that pressure of trying to do it in their head, which can be really tricky for them. Or they can just do it out loud, but just remind them, you're chatting to God, not mummy or daddy. You can tell me about it later. Again, you can give them suggestions of things to chat to God about if you want to. So you might say, tell God your favourite colour, or something that made you laugh today, or a game you like playing. Just throw out, it can be about anything that is relevant and going on in their lives. And you might want to throw in a few more kind of deeper, more serious suggestions maybe, to help them understand that God's there for their needs and the things that concern them as well. So you could say, why don't you tell God how it feels when we drop you off at childcare, or when you're alone in your bed at night, or tell God someone that you really miss. And again, they don't have to use their words. If the words are tricky and that doesn't come naturally to your child, they can draw, they can make it out of Play-Doh, they can show him with their face how they're feeling. Just roll with it and see what works for them. but all you're doing is enabling a conversation between them and God where you don't have to be there, but they're able to connect with him on their own. This communication isn't just one way. Just as a baby gets to know its parents' voice and sound and smell and touch, our children can get to know what it's like to know that God is near and the different ways that he communicates with them. The Bible shows us that God can communicate in lots of different ways. It can be different for different people and at different times. So we just want to be ready to respond to that and to help our child too as well. Now, it might not be what you expect, so I'm just going to run through a few of the ways we see in the Bible that God likes to communicate with us. So it might come as a thought, a feeling, a picture, or an idea that pops into our minds. It could be a physical sense of something happening that we can feel with our bodies. It could be a wave of positive emotion like joy, peace, or comfort. It could come as a feeling in our gut that something is true or right. It can come through our dreams, through reading words in the Bible, and through other people sharing God's communication with them. Whether this is something new to you or something that you feel totally comfortable with, there are a few things that you can do to help your child with this. So firstly, name it when you notice it or when you think you notice it. So if you wonder if God's communicating to you, just say that out loud. So you might say something like, oh, when I prayed that, I felt really warm and loved. I wonder if that was God sending me that feeling. It doesn't matter if you're not sure if he is, you're just voicing it. Or this Bible verse really helps me feel like God understands what I'm going through and is for me and with me. Thanks so much for that, God. You can also leave some space for your child to be aware of God communicating with them. So instead of rushing on, praying all the time, doing it for them, just pause and take a moment. So you might say, oh God, Jake's really sad that a bit of his new toy is broken. Would you just come close and let him know that you're with him right now? So after you've done that, just stop for a moment, just pause, and then say, did you notice God popping any pictures or ideas or feelings in your mind or body? And they might say yes and share something with you. They might say no, and that's totally fine as well. You're just making them aware of things to start looking out for, kind of giving them some pointers of some ways that God might communicate. Now, please remember that God is a God who loves us and he is for us. So if your child ever feels like God is saying something negative or discouraging, please reassure them that that's not from God. We always check that what we feel like God is saying to us matches up with what we know about him from the Bible. So have a go, try some things out, and you might be amazed at how God is already communicating to your child.